What are the top 5 excuses that Mark Pope fans use? I'm getting ready to let you know. Before I start my video, guys, will you please hit the like button, follow me over on TikTok, subscribe to me on YouTube. Okay, these are not ranked in any particular order. This is during Mark Pope's entire tenure at Kentucky. These are excuses that I've heard continuously, and I'm going to explain every one of them. This is basically, I think 90% of us get it now that he's not a good coach and we need to go in a different direction. And everybody's been great, support and all that stuff. There's still a few that people are prideful and they don't like to admit when they're wrong. They just don't. They will not admit that they're wrong. I have no problem admitting that I was wrong. I wanted Mark Stoops to come back next year because I'm just loyal and he did a lot for the program and all that stuff. Well, I had some other people saying we need to go in a different direction. The excitement needs to come back. They were right. I mean, I'll admit that right now, I don't know what it's going to mean in terms of wins and losses for Kentucky football next year, but the excitement is back. We'll probably go to, we usually go to about one game a year. We'll probably go to multiple games next year. I'm going to get behind this guy. But I have no problem admitting that I was wrong. People who just hold on to stuff, it kills me. Okay, here we go. First and number one overall, injuries. I have heard about injuries since the moment Mark Pope stepped on campus, man. I've had injuries. There's every team in America is dealing with injuries in every sport. I'm a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. We've had more injuries this year than any team in the NFL. We've had, they said like 63 different combinations, offensive line, and I'm not saying anything about it all year because everybody's dealing with injuries. So injuries is by far the number one excuse made for Mark Pope. I'm so sick and tired of hearing it. It's comical to this point. He's got a $22 million roster, which means it should be the deepest roster in college basketball. Injuries shouldn't matter. Okay, referees last year, that got almost embarrassing. They've calmed down a little bit, but officials just got it in for Pope. Okay, one of my favorites was a new roster. Well, he just put this roster together in a few months. John Calipari did that every year. The only difference was Calipari did it with 18-year-olds coming out of high school, and Mark Pope's signing 23 and 24-year-old men. I mean, it's ridiculous. Something Calipari did every single year was put young people together that have never played together before or anything like that and make it work. And Mark Pope gets the biggest pass ever because this is a brand new roster. Okay, the number one for me, the number one and most ridiculous statement I hear people make, it was time for a change. It was time for a change. No. Kansas is struggling right now. They have since, the last 4 years, Kansas have struggled. The difference is they don't have any idiots in their fan base saying it was just time for a change. Say it was just time for a change. Sorry, I'm getting some messages about the NFL today. Yeah. Anyway, Tom Izzo hasn't won the national championship since 2000 at Michigan State. But he's a Hall of Fame coach, has him in contention, most years. You're stupid to run a coach like that off. But we somehow managed to do it. You don't change unless it's a positive change. Let me give y'all a little life lesson, you younger people. You don't ever say it was just time for a change. You don't change unless it's positive. You don't change out your husband or wife just because you've had a few bad years. You don't change that out. I have a really good job right now. I'm not going to get a lesser job just because I've been there a while and I think it's time for a change. It's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, those are some of the Mark Pope excuses that we always heard. And I think the number one this year that's getting hot is so you have some Mark Pope fans, they know they're on the ropes. They know they're on the ropes, and it's basically time to go. So what's their number one thing now? You know what they throw out? Well, I was ready to get rid of Calipari anyway. I still don't want Cal back. That's them just reaching. That's them reaching. Listen, if you were on board with running Cal out of town and you didn't have a plan B, I told everybody, and I've said this many times, I tried to save us. I said, I'm on board with getting rid of Calipari if we can do better, and only if we can do better, because I've been through this before. I wanted rid of Tubby Smith so bad that I was willing to take anybody. I was younger and stupid, and that's what we got, was just anybody. And I promised myself I'll never do that again. Never. We were competitive with Tubby. He just didn't get us where we needed to go, and we ended up with a train wreck. Calipari, despite what any of you all think, Calipari would have got it right. Trust me. Things would have started working out. We would have pulled out of this 4 or 5 year slump we were in, and he would have brought us back. I mean, he would have, trust me. We had some bad breaks, COVID and all that stuff, and Calipari had his faults the last 4 years. The team that COVID just ended the season, I think that team would have won the national championship. That's my opinion. We had a lot of bad breaks, and people weren't patient enough, and now we're in the situation we're in now. But anyway, those are the top excuses for Mark Pope fans. Their number one this year is, well, I still don't want Cal back. I still don't want Cal back. What that is Mark Pope lovers holding on and not willing to admit that they were wrong. Trust me, these prideful people, you're not going to get out of them, well, maybe I was wrong about Pope, maybe. It takes a person with great character. It takes a person with so great a character to admit that you're wrong and apologize for it. And do better going forward. That takes great character, and a lot of people don't have it. I mean, they don't. It's a really big step for you as an adult for you to actually say, you know what, I was wrong about that. That takes courage. That takes character, and a lot of people just don't have it. They hold on to that pride. But anyway, I just wanted to. That was my list. Top Mark Pope excuses. Everybody, hit the like button, please. God bless.